Now you can play if you want.
Yeah.
1 second, Karen.
Just for confirmation, this will be 2 days later.
Sure.
2 days after the previous game?
Yes.
Wait, 2 days after the jump back 5 days?
This is 2 days after Dabonid was at the marshalship being
Incarcerated.
So it was
Sure.
3 days, then doing something else in current time. This was back during the, hey, what have you done in the last several days?
Yeah,
So
okay.
Yeah.
So this is
yeah.
not...
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. This takes place
Yeah.
not after the 5-day skip.
All right, so we get a call to go to some coffee shop, restaurant place.
Oh, I was just gonna swing by, see if you're free for, coffee and a quick chat. Nothing is quite as formal as an interrogation, but just had a couple more questions, you see. A little bit of an update.
Very well.
Alrighty then.
At what point in time would this be?
So I think day 1 or 2 after you've, probably not the next day. Let things chill. You catch up on any paperwork and what have you. So yeah, 2 days after the interrogation, I wanted not just a chance to sleep on it, but also, I guess I'll tell you in character. But I just, settle up something like a noon or a 1 whenever you normally take your lunches.
All right.
Do you have a preferred like breakfast or coffee or tea? What kind of thing do you go for around here? Or do you just pack your own sandwich bag? You just don't eat? Do you eat? Do you drink? Tell me a little about yourself if you got it.
Coffee would be fine.
All right, I know a place. And quite frankly, I do know a place, and their coffee's amazing. So I'll take you there, and bill's on me, because why not?
I kind of eye you with slight suspicion, but trusting you, I hopefully he looks a little tense, going into another coffee shop or restaurant, really.
Don't worry, you're plenty safe with me here. I mean, I guess anything's possible, but don't worry about it. Just enjoy the coffee. This is the good stuff. Trust, like, this isn't not as good as like back home stuff, but this is, for Lavasa, this is really good.
Yeah, back home, seaweed doesn't taste too great.
Wait, so y'all like live on seaweed or omnivores, or where do you fall on
Not
that?
anymore. Not anymore. The industries kind of polluted the lands where we lived. It doesn't matter too much.
Oof. Sounds like a story for another day. It's
A story for another age.
Oh. How long's it been?
Nearly 200 years. Of course, that wasn't in my lifetime.
Oh. Right. Half vampire. Forgot the whole.
I still import to taste the regret.
Well, wait, did I just disappear? I'm in notes somehow. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I don't know how to use a smartphone. There should be a button here that gets me back.
Should be.
Just find the Discord app.
Nope. That's just what. Nope. Big nope. Sorry. Peace out. I can just.
Oh, there's Discord.
Thank you. If I lock the phone, can you still hear me? Hey?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, cool.
You can turn off your phone and Discord will still be active.
That's what I just didn't want it to be. Good. It's working now. I can talk and not have to worry about pressing no buttons. Uh, but yeah, as far as welcome to something, and following up on the whole importing the taste of regret.
Hmm.
There's ain't no taste like home, I suppose. Although, oh, hopefully they get a better bit of quality one of these days. This place
Yes, yes.
causes a bit of mess, but you can fix oceans if you try hard enough, or just let it do its job. Oceans kind of take care of themselves, I hear.
Oh, yes. Oceans do. Lakes are a little bit harder.
Oh. Hmm.
Now, what is it you wished to speak of?
Well, I wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up. As far as I know, we haven't had much success following up on those leads you gave us. But I did talk with your boss, and he's gave full permission to start running up, causing up a stink with the Norschfletch fellas. Because if this was something actually done by them and not just some upstart looking for trouble, we'll know about it one way or the other.
When you say your boss, Dabonid says,
The Frenchish guy, the I don't know, he had some kind of accent. It was on the card on the freaking org chart. It was the first senior.
Burgundy?
Probably. I just remember his extension was blah 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 blah. 77573. I don't really. The names are kind of fuzzy. I just call him first senior, and he answered. So it's if it's a Burgundy, then sure.
All right.
I never had to really worry about this side of the food chain back where I worked. But I mean, goodness, you met me before I was all this high deputy. What, Mart? Yeah. Back when life was just a special investigator, it's way easier. Anyhow,
Yes.
if the Norschfletch are picking on you and it was for a case, one way or other, I'll find out. And if it wasn't for a case, then they'll have some answering to do. And if it wasn't them, there's going to be a whole separate kind of investigation started. And I figured it might be peace of mind knowing that at least something's getting done that way. And kind of to that note, I was figuring the whole shotgun system of almost dying. Usually, if they're knocking you out and there's drugs or trauma to your skull or any of that, or stress of being captured and life or death, most scientists don't deal with that every day. So I just wanted to see if anything had come back to you over the last couple sleeps.
Nothing more has come back to me. Although it's kind of hard to outdo being blown up, with you being the last survivor of your own team. A science team, it's kind of hard to outdo that.
Well, it just depends on how close you are to the explosion. It's different.
I suppose this is
All depends
true.
on how your head gets hit. If someone's picking on you one-on-one or 3-on-1 or whatever it was, they can do you a right mess. I suppose you are somewhat used to it, even if trouble does follow you like a bad penny. But so there's no more details on maybe exactly who or when they took your friend Sarah.
Not any more that I already gave you.
Well, just so we're checking to keeping things straight. I was told it was an unknown location at a vaguely several hours, if not about half a day, before I found you, and it was by people of no known description that claimed to be Norschlets.
They, yes.
So, but they didn't have any identifiers like eye color, hair color, body structure, height, race.
No, they wore the same outfit and uniforms as you do now. Dark glasses, as all
Oh.
Norse do. The
I mean,
same.
he no longer wears his glasses, so you get a bit of the weird eyeness stuff.
Oh,
That's yeah. As of the ever since he got the hive mind, he couldn't handle the glasses. It made the screens look funny.
I need to roll a check on that because
Roll a check on what?
Is Hüle Dragul?
Hule is not a Dragul. I'm pretty sure he's
I'm a Vaughn.
never mind. Yeah, he's a Vaughn. Alright.
Can I do an insight check just for funsies?
For what?
For funsies.
Sure. What are you trying to look up?
Just want in character check your memory.
Oh, check my memory.
Making sure you're being honest about not remembering anything about Sarah and the captors or what have you.
Alright.
It's only a 25, but that's I guess good enough for Hule most days.
Yeah, I'm being honest. I do, from what you can tell, I do believe that they were the Norschlitz. I told you where we were, where we
Look,
outside the alley.
At the time, you couldn't remember. You couldn't really tell where you were. That was part of the problem. You knew it was near an alleyway, but you didn't know where exactly that alleyway was.
It was the lock and key. Yes, I remember it now. That is out of character. In character, Dabonid would have said the lock and key or whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So what? Yeah, all that. But if there's any other superfluous details, is mostly what he's going for. He wanted to give you an update. Because by the way, starting an investigation into the Norschlitz is gonna make all of our lives more ugly.
Yeah.
Because internal investigations don't like being investigated or audited. So I'm basically starting an audit of auditing the IRS. They don't like it. Except this is cop IRS, so double gross.
Yeah.
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 PTA doesn't bother me. Keep your clothes on.
Oh my goodness.
PTA doesn't know.
Oh, out of character.
Sure.
Is your eye an item, like a magical item?
Not as far as I know.
Or
not as far as I know. As far as I know, it functions just like a regular eye, except that it's got
a different color
a lot
and
of red in it, and it sometimes
radiates off feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, it gives me it's a vibe check, you know. It's like,
Oh, okay.
it just gives me bad vibes if something's happening.
All right.
Yeah, it's my superpower. It's probably radioactive now that I think about it. And that's just like the brain tumor forming that's giving me these visions and conversations with the strange creature.
Visions and conversations. What are you talking about?
Out of character brain tumor.
Back in character.
Okay. Yeah, the eye thing. That's. Did you actually ask about the eye?
Yeah, I ask. When did that happen?
That was after sometime around the riots. Was that
the riots in the square? I heard about those.
Riots a lot of places, but yeah, I was running charge on the square. There's some big old thing, and everyone wakes up. However many was it? An hour later? It's in a log.
Big old thing. Big old what big old thing?
Reports.
You're talking about the riots, right?
Yeah, there was reports of something that knocked Like they said they felt it. I think it's like a city or two away, and they had the whole like people going unconscious all over town. It was a whole mess, and the paperwork for that. Yeesh.
But you were there. You would know about that, right?
I went
You caught
unconscious.
the culprit?
I went
Insight
unconscious.
check. Insight check.
I did go unconscious.
That's true. But Dabonid is rolling if you know anything more about this.
Do I look like I'm? Do I sound like I'm hiding something? Natural 20.
I mean, since I can see you and I rolled a natural 1 on my deviant
It was a
trait,
purple
Oh, a purple one, yes.
clear back.
I love it.
Sorry, the what? Oh yeah.
I rolled a natural 1 on my D trait and give others the roll. So I give you my number 2, the roll of 2.
Okay.
Okay, hold up. I don't know. I don't think we should be doing this without Germ here
Fight.
because this is kind of
you-
getting.
You have it recorded. You have it recorded.
You can watch it on
Besides,
clip later.
besides, Dabonid was one of the ones that remembers.
But he
guy
would have no reason to
has-
think that he's lying.
He has a
So yeah, he has a weird eye. A lot of people have weird eye. You're in
But he also saw
vampire
his
society.
that had a weird eye. I think.
But would he remember?
I mean,
Right for their injuries that make your eyes red, like bloodshot.
Yeah.
So like.
but most vampires heal from that quickly unless it's a holy weapon. So.
So you could assume that the whole weapon injury. That's
Uh,
normal in a place full of vampires.
I mean, all I'm rolling is to know if you
Weapon.
to understand if you have
Yeah.
other stuff you're hiding. If
But
I feel you're hiding something
natural
else.
one.
No.
What?
He said on his deviant.
I rolled a 2 and a 1, and I gave you my 2.
Which means you have the one.
No. means
No.
He made it to where your roll is now a 2.
But he rolled a 2 and a 1.
Yes. It's like a cleric's divine inspiration.
Channel divinity.
Yeah. But he gets to apply it to somebody else's roll.
So you're talking about like the divination wizard?
wi-
trait?
Yes, the
That you can
divination
give it to
wizard
other
trait.
people's ability checks? Sure.
Yeah, it says any roll.
Yeah. Your special ability, don't.
Well,
don't-
attack or whatnot. Yeah. Do I understand, or do I feel as if you're not being completely honest? Because that's probably the vaguest we can
I mean-
be with that.
Because the eye thing didn't show up until after the riots. And what all happened at the riots? We did.
A massive power surge, people knocking out every. I mean, even if you were one of the ones that got knocked out, you would still have some knowledge of it.
No, because other people.
As someone who took notes and
Yeah, and
as a cop, as it were.
if you get anything of like a kind of face, like okay, but like okay, you fell unconscious, but do tell. It's
Okay, maybe we shouldn't do that. It's too complicated.
I mean it's hard to say where that's all partial lies get fuzzy because it's like are you hiding something? If so, I'm hiding something. There are details I
Yeah.
haven't said. But I'm also, you can tell he's choosing his words carefully, but also he's a cop, and that was do tell me the details of 9/11, dear officer. Have the terrorists been caught?
That's what you want to believe.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
But I mean, it might be an internal thing, but as far as I know, whoever is responsible for that has yet to be apprehended. The riot was stopped with See, minimal bloodshed as these things go. I mean, it's a riot. It's kind of criminals don't get the best treatment in this kind of city. Us.
Yes.
And that's hmm.
In the city, though.
What do you mean?
Criminals.
No, there are people who aren't criminals. Have you committed a crime?
If there are no good people except for Annie, Sid, and Prince,
Mm-hmm.
that implies everyone in
The game and all the PCs are evil.
I'm pretty sure everybody
I'm not evil.
that
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
The majority of right,
My character is not evil. I could write a whole essay on why my character is not evil. What has Ross done
Burned.
that is evil?
Yeah.
Okay, by definition, you leaving a house on fire, your own house, and
I
not
think
trying to stop it, that
she's
is a
more
chaotic
How is that
nature.
evil?
She's
That is
destructively
chaotic.
How is that chaotic?
People don't burn
You
down
didn't
their own
have
houses
any
to warm
order.
up.
You didn't have any order. You didn't call the cops. You didn't be like, hey, fire police, I have a problem. My house is being burned down. And my leader is inside.
The thing is, I have so much character knowledge. You guys don't. You guys don't know anything about Ross.
You don't understand me, Mom. I have feelings.
You guys don't understand me.
Okay.
But given Ross's interactions so far, what we've seen of her, she looks like a slight psychopath who happens to be working as a politician part-time.
That's true. This is true.
From a house fire that she, I think, started.
Some people just want to see the world burn.
I mean, you can burn down your own house if you live in the country, I guess. But most people would say the person who does that is mentally unstable in a bad way.
they would help.
If you're not evil, you need help. Respectfully. Now, respect.
Yeah.
But we aren't here to discuss Ross's mental health problems. We got to.
Yeah. This is true.
Dabonid
You need
and
help.
Hüle.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's Norschlutz have a whole bunch of files, and most of the national security issues or risks or all that kind of mess tend to get dropped their way. So
yeah,
if they really were part of the mess with Sarah, it could be all the top secret stuff she works on. Something might have gone wrong, and she was taking a fall for it. Why they're kidnapping and heaven forbid trying to kill you, as near as I can tell, you haven't done anything illegal, but
a slight darkness goes over his eyes, and as if he's just ready to relieve some stress. As you mentioned, Sarah and top secret stuff. It's just slight for a second, but with your passive perception and with your knowledge, you know that something is just annoying Dabonid. But he's keeping it a secret for some.
He just quietly pissed.
Yeah.
There's that vein bulging and his face just froze. It didn't frown. It didn't do anything. It's just froze. That cold fire brewing in the back of his eyes.
Yes. He'd probably angle his head just a little bit down to where the shadows of his brow cover some of his eyes. His deep red eyes.
Oof. But I mean, obviously, if she's working on classified stuff, I wouldn't know. And if she's been breaking any fancy laws, I haven't been investigating her, so that's not really on me.
No, she wouldn't do that. Within reason, of course.
I mean, she got access to so many things laying around. It's mistakes are bound to happen. But again, we haven't been able to find her. If you gave me now that I have the location, I can at least narrow down the search a little bit. Trail might be cold, but hey, it's better than nothing. And we've about got the paperwork in order to start running Ackerman through a grinder, but that's Council Priscilla. It's
Council Priscilla.
metaphorically. We're not actually like okay, but at least I don't think we are. That's above my pay grade. But if you're trying to pick on someone who's a council or a high council, there's a whole like just a mess of paperwork. It's almost like the people who make the rules don't like the paperwork, don't like the rules hurting them or something. So
Oh yeah.
they've got paperwork for days. So I got about all the signatures on, I think, the primary documents, but even with the Burgundy, your Burgundy, Mr. Burgundy, even with his back in to investigate Northfletch and get to Ackerman, that's gonna be a day. And we're already running a mess with Priscilla, so Jeffrey's a bit tied down. I don't even know what that's about. But yeah, there's a list.
Priscilla. What is? People are being more and more corrupt as we speak. It's crazy.
People at the top have a bad habit of thinking they're above the law, or picking fights with people underhanded. Just the petty, like assassinations and like
Yes, yeah.
theft, mismanagement of finances. It's kind of like some of them are harmless crimes, some of them are mass murdery crimes, but at the end of the day, you still got to book them for it.
Speaking of theft and
there's like a slight grin that starts tugging at his face. Oh yeah, you were saying?
yeah, speaking of rules and theft and not so known investigations, how is that one investigation going which required Dabonid does not say I.
The chapter 35 mess?
Yes.
Oh, things like that, if it says national on it, if there is an investigation and it does say national, which is a list of hypotheticals already, that usually gets dropped straight into the Northfletch bucket because we don't want to touch it. I mean, it's not a whole lot to investigate. That's just, hey, y'all, there's someone come across a radar with a thing. Deal with it when you get around to it.
Oh, so you took it from the science division and dropped it in the Northfletch bucket.
I mean, if I don't know about any. As far as I know, if I were to take something that was national, the evidence would usually say in our bucket of like where we keep things. And if you're looking for, I mean, this is just standard protocol. You can read this off of, the logbook if you dig hard enough. But you take something, you drop it at the marshalship. We've got evidence lockers for days. If it's ranked at such and such a clearance, it gets moved into either one of our files, our boss's files, our boss's files, or if he doesn't want to mess with it, he'll kick it across the road, and then that's when the Northfletch get involved. If it's something like just interdivisional, big, it's if it's drug busts or murder or something like that, we can get you going. If like kidnapping, that's kind of in our bailiwick. It's just a matter of finding who did what and why, which is hard to do on a cold trail. It's a rough start, but we'll get there.
Out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, since Dabonid is the senior of technology, would that report of the all demon finger uses or devil's finger usages, would it be filed to him as a partial report, or would that be filed to the first senior?
About the missing finger?
Yes, the one that you took.
Yes, the finger I took. As far as I know, the report would go, because Jeffrey saw it. It would probably get booted from Jeffrey over to. That's how I was under Stefan. So you go from Stefan over to the Northfletch, and ideally they would reach out to senior it for disciplinary actions. or to the person in question for disciplinary action. So depending on what this breach was and what, depending on the breach and severity and repeatability, the disciplinary action can vary. And
This is out of character, by the way.
I mean, is out of character is in character. Yeah, it doesn't matter. All that's public. And so if there's anything of national importance that's broken, I don't know if that would be up to the Northwest to file a report for it. Because we filed a grievance against y'all, but
what grievance against us? What for?
No,
for you taking something of ours.
For you having a national secret not well locked and kept. You would have stopped me, but if I had been anyone else, I also could have gotten away. Where there were the fact that they are so readily there and available and not guarded or cataloged or, that they're not kept in a vault. If they're national secrets, they're just kept in someone's drawer. That's mishandling of national secret technology and equipment on a gross level, which further, like in a real world, companies would be shut down for that. Everyone would be fired or thrown in federal prison. That's a huge deal. That's like leaving the plans for grenades, guns, and your new fancy airships just sitting on your desk all day where people can walk by. That's not something a sane scientist or researcher does. You're supposed to be under several levels of locked. So for someone who's as mildly vetted as a special enforcer, because they can be like, that's someone with a classified clearance walking into a top secret area and just picking something up, and maybe they put it in their pocket and walk away, maybe they don't. But even if I just had read it and had knowledge of it, that's very dangerous stuff to have. And if it had been someone else, it could be badly mismanaged. And the fact that it's not managed where it is was the problem. So the grievance is for poor management of national secret and technology.
That was under the Draldwich administration.
It very well might have been, but that's up for the Northwest to determine. Because maybe it's working as intended. It's not my job to say. And it's not my job to tell the like, hey, you're breaking a national law. Stop that. That's how criminals say, oh, I'm sorry, I'll make sure not to get caught next time. Like, if you're trying to see if there's an actual problem, you report it to internal, and those guys will send out a real team, and they will do a white glove search of an area, usually interviews, they'll do the full colonoscopy and really tell you what's happening, where it's happening. They will check and double check. It's just the detailed audit. It's a white glove audit.
Right.
So that's normally, in a real world, that's normally what would happen. So Hule's assumption, at least at the moment, is if it's something they weren't aware of, they would go check into it. If it's something they're aware of and for whatever dumb reason willing to risk, that's on them. But I didn't want to start a fight because the only way that would end if I had, and I mean, in character, it should be obvious, but for that kind of thing to go, it would mean everyone in that area, anyone who was aware that was the state of that was the standard state of affairs, who didn't fix it, would be fired and or executed. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. But, in character, I can walk you through what we normally do with various levels of classified material. I mean, there's a whole training course on it, really. It's a nightmare. It's like sitting there for straight with just do this if this. It's like a flow chart, but it's like they want me to memorize it when they know I got that chart in my desk. Yeah. I mean, like, who needs to memorize it when you can just look it up? But And there's a whole procedure for any kind of evidence, when to file reports, what level to file them at, who to file them to. There's a chain of command going up, and then if you need to go over, there's a chain of command for that. And that's one of the reasons I mentioned something like Norschlech is if your friend works with national security stuff, they're the people who work with national security stuff. So if they wanted to do a little bit of a detailed investigation or interrogation of something, I don't know what else she gets into, but she seems like a pretty smart girl. So maybe there was something that got slipped and they're making sure she wasn't a leak for some foreign country. I don't know. But it could be it wasn't even Norschlech. I mean, just some guys stole the uniform, and it doesn't have to be that good to fool someone who doesn't work with Norschlech that often. That's where the real mess comes in. So I'm working to get all those case files, and once I get them, check them, see who was doing what, when, where. If we've got a location and we've got people and we've got a time, we should be able to narrow it down pretty easy. And that's what my group does. We're data analysis, investigations. We're small, but we'll get there eventually. Oh, you'd just be surprised how many national crises we can have in a week. Oh.
Well, the coffee was most enjoyable.
And yeah, if anything else comes to mind, by all means, give us a holler. But I'll try to keep you posted. Yeah.
Very well.
Oh,
And I thank you for your
and just for the official, well, not really an official record, but just between you and me, I apologize for the way I was treating you the other day. There was a bit of a rough day, and I shouldn't have behaved so unruly. The whole death threats and stuff. I don't normally go there right off. I was just in a real sour mood. And then that Edward fella,
yes.
he was, I don't like people being violent, just jumping guns.
Yes.
It's just
I
handcuffs.
must say that I too was out of line, and I do apologize for that.
You'd nearly had a kidnapping and a death, what have you. So and I think that warehouse is being looked into, but they're pretty clean about, how they handled things. There's not a lot of evidence left there, or smells, or any of that mess. But at the very least, we should be able to run down the property and maybe get a point of contact if they're working inside some kind of grid. But we'll keep it in mind. And thank you so much for your time, Mr. Is it a technologist senior or a senior technology?
Senior of technology, but just call me Dabonid.
All right.
For today. And I motion to the coffee.
Oh,
as I finish the rest of it.
Sweet.
Dabonid does not drink a whole lot of coffee, so he's probably just half of the cup is still full.
Glug, glug, glug. I mean, this place has really good tea if you're more of like a tea guy. I'm sure they've got some, tell you what, if they don't have something, let me know, and I'll make sure you get something that's good for you. This is, so hard to get good.
No, it was good. It was good, and I thank you for it.
All right. I'm surely forgetting something, but if anything else comes into question, I'll just give you a holler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, see you around. Hopefully not too many times.
And what's your
I'll see you.
Curiosity?
Passive perception, 19.
And what kind of clothes do you wear?
What kind do I normally wear, or what kind am I wearing right now?
Are you wearing
Now I'm probably wearing it'd probably be a mixture between a lab coat and a trench coat. It'd be a tan.
Ooh. Like a nice thick lab coat. probably rainproof and chemical proof.
And he'd be wearing gray pants.
And what color are the walls in the area you work of the senior?
Is this out of
Yes.
character? Okay.
When I was there, I was curious. I'm assuming Germ doesn't care what color they are, and therefore I'm giving you, as first senior, presumptuous power to choose the wall color. Do you keep it like lab white the whole place, or
Maybe, probably, could be.
or if you just got like shelves to the ceiling? You got like, I don't know if this is like warehouse vibes or if this is like small labs with vent hoods and everything. How clean and tidy and immaculate the place is kept. So when I went to pick you up, that was one of the things I wanted to check on.
Yeah, it'd be pretty clean and tidy, except for one office which is now closed, which has been closed for a while. Which you would know is Sarah's office, but the door that one's closed off, so you can't really see in it. But everything that you can see is nice and tidy. Although you probably wouldn't have come me going out if you gave me a call.
I would have dropped by probably without calling, just because I wanted a little bit of time to lollygag. If you took time to get ready.
Okay.
I wanted to wait for a bit in the lobby, what have you. Check out what kind of, are the doors here airtight doors? Are there, what, do they have full locking, auto closing? No, but seriously, I wanted to do a bit of bug exploration.
Yeah, and everything is, from last time you came, it looks more reinforced. Every now and then you see a couple security officers walking. Yeah. The walls would be a normal lab color. I assume white. It's very well lit.
Yeah.
Except for one or two dark rooms. Those are only open for a few seconds and closed for a few seconds.
And any specific floor pattern, while I'm on the train of thought, is it like speckled tile, wax linoleum? What vibe do you go for in here? I'm not in character. Wow.
I really do not know.
Okay.
Probably for the reception area, it'd be a carpet, and then as you go in, it'll be more lab type tile. I don't know.
Why do you want to know this?
Because
he has the ability to learn.
It affects how I interact with the Signoret to know what kind of visibility and lines of sight the place has. Like, is there an unobstructed vent system throughout the area? Is knowing that it's well lit, that it's mostly white, that it's mostly tidy, are important details if you're trying to like leave bugs? Or like, if I wanted to go leave hidden cameras and mics or anything in the scene.
Vampire spawns, tiny spawn household creatures.
A swarm of ticks hiding in the carpet. There's all kinds of options. Fleas are a nice one because they're harder to see and they can just slowly crawl to places, and they just flex to the bottom of tables to walk to the far side. So a pack of sentient fleas is obnoxiously hard to find if it's anything like a dark room or place where there's like cables and what technology being worked on. There's a lot of metal shavings, scraps, screws, washers. The floor turns into I dropped something, I'm just gonna get a new one. At least where I work. Unless it's a flight line where they're a little more meticulous. So depending on the level of OCD, if it's like a spotless floor, like a single color floor that's very well maintained, cleaned, if they work the drawer, if they have 3 shifts of janitors or something, that's one thing. But you can usually tell that from how, just from walking in and saying, oh, do they actually care about like paperwork clutter and equipment
This is
clutter?
a science. This is a science division.
Yeah,
Order is a necessary thing, even with it recent and dangerous explosions.
but
Yep.
I mean, I work with a bunch of engineers, and every cube is like just this growth of equipment piled and wired and cabled together and sometimes strapped down and on carts and under desks, on desks. It's a rat nest most places, and it used to be worse. Like every month or two, each person, once, at least once every 6 months, each cube will be cleaned by someone at some point, except property. But like janitors, I think once a year, they go through and deep clean the floors, which is just scrape everything up, put a new layer of floor down. Like they de-wax it and varnish. It's not like a peeling up the whole physical floor. But there's things like that that make it easier or harder to leave, spies. And if I can while I'm waiting, leave a bunch of burrowing insects in a chair, if there's, fabric chairs, or if I can, sit next, if there are floor vents, it makes it even easier to go in and out. That's the kind of thing I wanted to check while I was physically there. And
Yeah.
also, of course, I'm leaving bugs if I'm ever not in direct line of sight of somebody. I don't really consider that negotiable. But that's really
I love
true.
how it's like I love how you leave bugs because it's like it's a bug, but then it's literally a bug.
Yeah, I'm slowly turning into the eyes of Lhasa. So everywhere that I go
You're
has
literally
downside is the more I have bugs, the harder it is to hold a conversation. Because I have to process all of their memories and stimulus
Mhm.
all the time.
Speaking of your household, how does that work? What does it look like when you do that?
Um, it just looks like me 24/7. I mean, to
I
make them,
mean, does it look like you glow for a few seconds? Do your eyes glow?
I
Does one eye
I'm,
glow?
I'm
Does
sure
a feeling radiate off your body? Do they come from shadows? Do they look like shadows?
they usually are dark. I don't know if they have a wispy vibe to them.
I think the dude, they're shadow
Creature,
familiars, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
As
So
far as
yeah, they're
they,
like black creatures, I think with red eyes. They're kind of, wispy, shadowy.
Yeah, because I was thinking one Vaughn household is like the next. You know,
Jim Crow?
one household critter would look like the next in its appearance, its shadowy form.
Depending on what you ate, can change its appearance. But I come from a place where we breed insects for food, so feels bad, man. I have a lot of those. So when it comes to like genetic insect variety and various sizes and various everything else, if they are big enough to have blood, it's something I can munch and drink by virtue of munching it. So, yes, I have almost all forms of bug at my disposal, as well as a couple birds and beasts, and now snee snakes or flesh snakes,
Snake
really.
snakes.
But no,
Right.
the best is yet to come. Don't worry. They are all of mine at least have one red eye. Whether it glows or not is another story. But the eye, however small it is, does have a red tint, and that's my preferred, the hive mind eye. So that's what lets me make my rolls from the animals. So they don't just have bug perception; they have my perception, which is a separate problem. Because honestly, that's not healthy. Neither here nor
Yeah,
there.
there's actually a small contaminant, what do you call it? A vacuum sealed door space, like in between a door and another door. I don't know what those
Mhm.
would be
Yeah,
called.
containment chambers, or
Yeah,
yeah, cleaning cycle. Yeah, there's a word for that. I know.
yeah, yeah. There'd be one like that, only more almost defensive like. Like, hey, you want to get through here? You're gonna have to break through this door, and then vacuum seal problem, whatnot, and yeah.
Well, that's
So it'd
yeah. So
be a double
like you're going into a reinforced
system.
and
Yeah.
is that on which labs?
That was at the first door to the lab door.
And did I ever go through that door?
You probably, well, no, you were in the reception. You probably would have asked the new receptionist. By the way, the old receptionist is around. You do not see her.
Oh, that's a real shame. I'll have to get the new one's name, or did she get fired, or
Yeah, she's just a temp.
the way the new one is?
Yes.
So what happened to the old one? Do they kind of tell you, or is it just, hey, you're working now?
Yeah, they didn't really tell me too much about that.
Well, if you ever run into trouble or have some sketchy folks laying around, just give me a holler. I'm over in the marshalship. Just ask for Huel.
Oh,
They'll find me.
sketchy people. Currently, there's only one sketchy person in this room. She's not great at it. Oh my goodness.
Flirt harder. Ooh.
Flirt
No.
harder, not smarter.
Because she's about to get herself a big dose of bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Well, either way, here's the business card. And if you ever see that number on the ringer, just now you have a face to put to the name.
All right then.
Hopefully, don't have to be making too frequent calls, but yeah, it's work.
All right then.
So, and is the vent system? I'm assuming the vent system's integrated because Sarah was always goes in and out.
Yeah,
as a player,
yeah, that was actually fixed a couple times.
but she keeps breaking it. What's
Yeah, apparently so.
Because we love her.
so in the last 48 hours has that been repaired?
Yes, yeah.
So you'll just have a bunch of fleas in your carpets now. And next time someone goes in or out, they'll just be tagging along. I might lose a couple and getting squished under shoe, but in the meantime, I get to hear what your lobby's like, so that'll be nice.
Um,
And don't worry, these guys are nice and friendly. They'll stay real low, real quiet. Barely even know the flecks of dirt. And if a vacuum comes, they just, pull together, turn into a tick, and hold on. Because amorphous shadows. It's amazing. If I could drink a slime,
do they breathe? Like,
Nope.
or
they're just shadow that look like the shape of some beast. And technically, bugs are CR0, so I can make up to a swarm before I have to start using CR for it. Bugs, apes, parrots, yeah, there's just a bunch of CR0s.
that's so nice to know.
I mean,
How?
I mean, I can't do an infinite amount. He said I can only have
Yeah.
one CR0 in addition to a CR1, but that's just until I get my.
That's nice to know.
Wait, so do you just like bug everyone you meet?
Not everyone, just everyone who's suspicious. Don't worry, Germ knows who's bugged.
Who is bugged? I'm guessing you're not allowed to tell us because you're like, ooh, but secret.
No, I mean, I sometimes bug people out of affection.
Have you bugged Ross? Because my real question is, have you bugged Ross?
Why would I
No.
bug her?
That's not the real question.
That's what
The
I'm
real
asking.
question. The real question is, did he bug Jeffrey?
I will tomorrow.
Yeah.
When I find his sorry arse. And if it takes half a CR to bug all the people of importance, I bloody well will. Because end of the day, I only need like one functional gnat per per room. Or per, I mean, really per building, it's a gnat. They can just buzz off to the next one. Turn into a spider on the ceiling, and what idiot's going to be jumping to hit the ceiling? I mean,
Me.
make it a smaller spider. Come on, long, almost invisible legs and a tiny body. If someone goes for it, when they jump, it'll just fall and turn into, something less conspicuous or something that can hop. It falls, it hops. While they're like, wait, what? And by the time they find where it would have been, it's turned into something else and slithered off. They have the full sentience of Hüle. Because we have a hive mind.
Imagine sharing a hive mind with bugs.
Well, they're bugs that have eyeballs. Well, first of all, they're not true bugs, they're just shadows. So it's just a case of, I want to move this direction. Cool. I move that direction. But they have the full action sequence as a characterist and the full intelligence and perception abilities of Hüle. Which is kind of ridiculous, but but you can give people your role, so I guess fair is fair. His thing is shadows.
Yep, that's true. What was
We
it?
have a lot of like familiar focused characters this campaign.
Because
Yeah, you
familiars
do.
are OP. Wait, who else has a familiar focus? Oh,
Yeah,
like
it's
Finn,
currently
Sid.
just
yeah, you're talking combat. I was like, wait, does political have another familiar guy here?
It's just
No.
more than usual. Like I never see anyone do like a familiar focused build, and now we have like 2 people.
But
You know what you never see?
Your familiars
What?
usually
Detects.
it's a slingshot build, isn't it?
Yeah, but she has a lot of focus on her familiar as well. Like,
How it's tied to her and her deity and all that jazz.
she can go across dimensions now with it.
But you know what you never see?
What?
A detect thought / arcane lock ability combo.
What do you mean? Arcane lock?
Huh?
Oh.
No, it's not actually arcane.
Are you talking about your character?
Build it anymore.
Oh my god.
Maybe.
What do you mean anymore?
Well, I have
So much for, hey, this isn't going to take very long.
It shouldn't have taken very long, but we got into
Yeah.
the conversation that we started discussing out of character, which is a much bigger discussion.
Yeah, it is. Also, is Garrett still there?
Yes.
yes.
I think Dabonid was wanting to go talk to South.
It's gonna be a long day.
It'll be actually shorter.
I mean, I also need to talk to Selthor and what's his assistant's name? Like Sylvana or something?
Yeah. She's not. She was actually the assistant. science division. She is not there.
Up for 3 days in a row.
But in the intervening day, actually, just for the
Honestly,
beauty of it,
probably would have been.
I would say the day she got fired. I mean, she hasn't been showing up for 3 days. It doesn't matter when I show up. But presumably, right after she got fired is when Hüle would finally have the paperwork and be like, okay, I need to go.
Well, y'all did it. She didn't. Y'all didn't.
We had reason to suspect her, but we hadn't followed up because
Y'all didn't have reason to suspect her
until I talked.
until she didn't show up for 2 days.
No, until Dabonid.
Yeah,
Dabonid and
she
Dagger
hadn't
took.
shown up, which was technically the first day she didn't.
Yeah.
Show up. So then the next day y'all started processing stuff,
And then so but right after you fired her, somebody show up saying, "Hey, where's that person?"
I would have been like, "She's gone."
Heck if I know. He was our delivery guy, sure, but I haven't seen him in a month.
He would have been like, "That's what I wanted to know 3 days ago."
Where were y'all when I missing persons went out? Okay. But
I realized she's like his 60th
Secretary of the Week.
She's like, and like,
You're the Secretary of the Week. Instead of saying you're the best Secretary of the Week, it's no, you're only working this week. We'll have another one next week.
Ain't that the truth with Selthor?
so like,
Eh,
if people don't do their job,
the way he wants it, when he wants it, how he wants it.
pretty much.
If they are not him, but doing their own job.
Which is also part of why Libby is the way she is. I do what I'm told. Exactly how.
Meanwhile, I've got Daniel. Have you considered giving your employees freedom to think and operate?
But also,
No.
comes to,
Dabonid has. He hasn't messed with his.
but also whenever it comes to stuff like that, he also trained her to.
Just don't break national secrets. Like, you can make a lot of leeway, but
Do
not
what
with
she
top
needs
secret
to.
crap.
Her.
Flexible within boundaries. Healthy work environment, not an illegal one.
Yeah.
Although, if you're the one who's responsible for determining what justice is, it's a lot easier to stay inside the rules. Oh, it's the discretionary discipline? I can work with that. Oh, everything's discretionary? We're gonna really punish you. Oh no, you did a good thing, but you broke the rules? Oh, bad. Bad and
Hüle.
shame on you.
Hüle.
Yes.
Hüle.
Yes.
It's 100% you, minus the part that you didn't do a good thing.
I have only done good things. Shall we shall we replicate the germ scene from earlier? Where you just lick the foot and then go
No. No.
that made Alicia almost puke while driving?
Feet are off a little bit.
Oh, Ross. Dabonid would
Mhm.
kind of give you a call one of these days.
Their head is sensitive. And
Everywhere.
Mm,
On her toes.
real question is, would I be available?
Yeah, that. Probably call one of your subordinates, your people that would give you a call, unless you have like those answering machines, because you don't trust subordinates or anyone, not even yourself.
I don't know if trying to think, like, do consults have, like,
my toes are cold. Then
I don't know if Ross has any, like, aids or anything.
They are higher than seniors. Not the first senior, however. They're high up there in technology. They're like senators.
I feel like, assuming answering things are the same, if you did try and call Ross, it would probably be Diedrich's old answering.
Especially if you keep going that direction.
Assuming it wasn't cut.
What do you mean?
You know, since, I mean,
On my foot.
they're pretty. Would they be on top of that?
But yeah, going.
I mean, she wouldn't have recorded a new one.
Depending on the time of day and the alignment of the moon can be very obnoxiously ticklish.
I mean, maybe it's the same phone. I'm assuming it's the same phone. If it's a different phone, then it's whatever default voice machine thing is.
Until it stops. This will hurt someone. If it's not you, it's me.
That's a question for Jerem.
Yeah, it
I think he's offline. Yes, he's offline. I don't want to add him or anything.
Ross, are there any friends you have out of game?
What do you mean?
Who are
Siren, does Ross have any friends?
I'll give you 5 reasons you're gonna be my friend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No one should consider a friend. No. How many people would consider her a friend? Does Hüle
No
question
one.
mark?
She's an associate. I don't think we've had enough sit down coffees to really call each other friends yet.
I don't know how Daniel feels about her.
Nor does anyone. For all I know, he's got a crush.
Why?
I said for all I know. I also preface this with I have no idea. I do
No.
not, to the extent that it could be literally anything. I don't know. Maybe he has a kink for moody dragools.
Hmm.
You will give me such high pains.
It's like someone on their period, but 24/7. You'll love it.
Stop. No. We will not be saying that statement ever again in your whole life, or I will round kick your face.
Does you round kicking my face mean you will come visit Texas sooner?
Yeah, New Year's, hopefully.
Oh, okay. Then I won't say it. If it would have gotten you here sooner, I would say it again, but oh well.
No, I can't go there sooner.
Is that not the
We'll
reason for
discuss
Russ's
this.
perpetual bad mood? I just assumed she got turned at a bad time and it's just kind of stuck with it. So she has to drink double blood or something.
No. I mean, we've talked a little bit about her backstory. I'm surprised, there have been a lot of hints to her backstories.
No, I'm just a douche for characters. That's the key difference here.
What? What? What?
Okay.
Hmm.
That's hilarious and adorable.
Yeah, but I
That
don't
was
know
so
why.
cute.
Ross has any friends.
I
No.
know the one where you touch their shoulder and they have to rub it off. Or they have to poke it but themselves. So you should just do that. No matter what they're doing, they have to do it. I just didn't know you had one on your nose.
Sorry. I would say I wanted to boop his nose, but we were FaceTiming, so he would boop his nose over FaceTime. So now whenever I boop his nose in person,
No, I boop my nose. You trained a little nose booper. Oh. Okay.
You guys are gross. I don't even have to see you to say that.
you're welcome.
They give me the vibes. The warm fuzzy vibes. It's adorable in the best way.
No.
You would cringe really hard right before you puked. It'd be amazing.
Thanks.
I don't know.
You really like
Siren,
don't you?
I don't mean to judge. You and I need to sit down and watch some chick flicks.
Please? No.
See, as much as I'm
No.
of a typical
I do not
guy,
do chick flicks.
opposite of the typical girl, and it's hilarious.
No, I know, but a girl who doesn't like chick flicks is the best person to watch chick flicks with. You get burgers or tater tots, and you sit down, and you turn it on,
And you make fun of it.
and you
No.
stop laughing. And you have
No.
blocks, so you don't have to even look at the screen and be like, no, I can't even. No.
Sounds
Um, do you ever-
horrible.
Their popcorn or their tater tots, like, man, toughen up. If you're a real man, you could watch them be super gross and cringy. No.
I don't even know what chick flicks are. What are like examples of chick flicks? I can't think
A
of.
Knight's Tale, 10 Things I Hate About You. We've got Mean Girls. We've got that one with like a cancer story.
Mean Girl is a chick flick.
It counts.
Which one?
Mean Girls.
Oh,
Mean
okay.
Girls.
There's the Last Song, I think, was a Miley Cyrus one. With that one.
What? Are you talking about Looking for Alaska and
Nope.
Fault in Our Stars?
We can watch those too, but they're a little like too real.
A
No,
Fault
we
in
want
Our
the real
Stars.
like cringy chick flicks, like
I
90s.
I hate A Fault in Our Stars
That's okay.
because of how much I love it.
That's a whole different kind of okay.
I love that movie. It's such a good story. You cry.
Oh,
Well,
how do you feel?
that's it here. You can actually cancel out, what's his name?
Craig.
Craig List.
Hey,
No.